I'm Kyoko,
And I'm Motorola.
and we're going to talk to you today about
Newton's 3 laws of motion.
we're both filming and I'm editing, and we're both giving to you this information.
Law number 1, inertia. Inertia is a property of matter. It's resistance to change in motion or change in acceleration, which means an object at rest tends to stay at rest, and an object in motion will stay in motion, but with a constant speed and acceleration. So that means if you kick a soccer ball, it won't stop until someone stops it. If a spaceship is in outer space traveling in a straight line, constant speed, it won't stop until an outside force like a meteorite or an asteroid comes and hits it and stops the path.
Law 2. Acceleration. When a net force acts on an object, the object accelerates such that the product of the mass and the acceleration equals the net force. The equation for Law 2 is force equals mass times acceleration.
What does acceleration mean?
Acceleration is the velocity over time. Acceleration and mass are inversely proportional. Acceleration and force are directly proportional. Acceleration is always in the same direction as the force applied.
For example, would be if you push a shopping cart with more force, it's going to accelerate more.
Another example is if you have two objects that are going to accelerate at the same rate, but one is of smaller mass, you would need to use a greater force. Now we're going to do an example problem. The problem we have here says a motorbike and the rider have a mass of 275 kilograms. If they experience an acceleration of 4.15 meters per second squared, what force was exerted on them? To solve this, we're going to use the guess method. The first thing we're going to do is take our G, our givens. Our given values were mass equals 275 kilograms. It was acceleration, which equals 4.18 meters per second squared. Our unknown in this equation is force net, or force applied. And then we're going to put a question mark and the units you would use for force net.
Newtons.
That's right. Newtons. What we're going to do is the equation.
What was the equation again?
Oh my god, you can go back to the beginning of the video if you don't know the equation. But the equation is force equals mass times acceleration.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
That is right. So we're looking for force, so we don't have to rearrange our equation. We're going to plug in the mass, which is 275, and plug in our acceleration, which is 4.15. 0.25 newtons. 141.25 newtons.
Remember, newtons is your units.
And
Last but certainly not least, law number 3. The law of action and reaction. This basically means that action, reaction, basically the two forces are coming in pairs. It means when one body exerts force on the second body will exert the same amount of force in the opposite direction back on the first body.
for example, I'm standing on the floor and I look very normal. But little do you know, I'm pushing down force on the floor. But the floor is pushing force back on me. This is an action and reaction example because I'm the action and the floor is the reaction.
Good. Another example. You you see that I'm pushing on this wall. The wall isn't moving. So I'm applying force on the wall, and the wall is applying force back on me. Equal and opposite reactions.